So we talked there about the number of people who have already died from coronavirus. Let's turn now to the solution. With the solution being, if you talk to literally anyone other than Donald Trump, it's a vaccine. Everybody other than Trump says we need to have a vaccine. So the concern, though, is once a vaccine is made available, is it going to truly be available to everyone, regardless of your economic situation? Here is Bernie Sanders.
At least that everybody in America who needs that vaccine will get it, regardless of their income. Is that a fair assumption?
Senator, I certainly hope so. FDA is very committed to making sure that all populations in the United States, including those most vulnerable, are included in the clinical trials. And
well, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, if and when the vaccine comes, it won't do somebody any good if they don't get it. And if they have to pay a sum of money for it in order to profit the drug companies, that will not be helpful. Are you guaranteeing the American people today that that vaccine will be available to all people, regardless of their income?
Sir, the payment of vaccines is not a responsibility of FDA.
Anybody else want to comment on that? Mr. Joral, do you think we should make that vaccine, when hopefully it is created, available to all regardless of income? Or do you think that poor people and working people should be last in line for the vaccine?
My office is one of the offices committed to serving the underserved, and
So when you're telling the American people today that regardless of income, every American will be able to gain access to that vaccine when it comes?
They should gain access to it. I don't control, I think
you represent an administration that makes that decision.
I will certainly advocate that everyone is able to receive the vaccine regardless of income or any other circumstance.
Let me just switch gears.
Okay, so look, it went on longer, but spoiler alert, none of the people he asked would confirm that it would be made available for free to everyone that needed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just reflective of our healthcare system in general. That no one was willing to go on the record and say, yeah, absolutely, regardless of class or income or wealth or social situation, anything. That's a red flag. That's why as we globally face this pandemic, and everyone is in the same situation, no matter nationality, ethnicity, race, creed, gender, religion, whatever. Why are we now in a situation where no one's willing to stick their neck out and be like, yeah, everyone should get a vaccine? Mm-hmm. And I think it shows like the power and influence of the pharmaceutical lobby, the for-profit healthcare industry, and why we are so broken compared to every other industrialized country. This is a no-brainer. This is a yes, absolutely easy question to answer. But the fact that it was so difficult to get people to even reach that point where it's like, oh yeah, I'd like to, but it's out of my hands. No. You say you fight tooth and nail to do it because it's the right thing to do. And it really underscores the need for Medicare for all in the United States.
Now, Jordan, you say it's a no-brainer, but what if you held millions of dollars in stock in the company that the government approves to manufacture and distribute the vaccine? Would it be a brainer then?
A little bit tougher then.
Yeah, that's the thing. Unfortunately, it would be. And right now they're considering multiple different potential vaccines made by multiple different companies. At some point, they're going to pull the trigger on one or more of them. Trump and other people in government are going to know what those companies are. So hypothetically, they could purchase stock because we've decided as a country that it's totally cool for our elected representatives to have a financial stake in companies that their legislation and executive orders affect. And so then why would he order that it be free? Why would he use government resources to produce and distribute it? Why would he do that? I mean, look, if he cared about the people, he would do it. If he was the populist he's made out to be, he would do it. But no, he wants the money, and furthermore, he wants everyone else he knows, all the other rich a-holes he knows, to make bank off of this. So I'm glad that Bernie asked the question. I mean, most of the people he was asking of, they probably, like, if it was up to them, they might make it available free, but it's not up to them. And I'm glad that Bernie made clear, if it gets covered, and it probably won't get covered, that no, there are no plans right now to make it available free or potentially even subsidized. It is probably going to end up being expensive, and that means that even once we reach the miraculous result of having a vaccine, you're going to have some chunk of the country that believes that vaccines are a plot hatched between Bill Gates and the devil, and you're going to have a much bigger part of the country that won't be able to afford it, or is going to have to make incredibly difficult financial situations where it's, do I pay my rent or do I get the vaccine for my kids? Do I have food this week or do I have the vaccine for myself and my spouse? That's the sort of decision that they're setting us up for.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to make things worse, and it's only going to make this kind of social distancing and, augmented commercial situations, they're only going to elongate that. So the greed is going to make the problem worse. The corporate greed, the pharmaceutical greed, the investor greed. It's just only going to make matters worse for us. And you're going to see around the world people just accept it and distribute it for free or for low cost, or make it accessible and available for everybody, regardless of income or class. And because we're a broken society, we're not going to do that. So a handful of rich pharmaceutical billionaires can get even richer.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.